Before the helicopters fell silent, the city swallowed sound. Steel stood like smudge mongrel.
Blackburn's breathing is too loud in his headset. He's not a legend, not a hero. Just another ranger doing his job.
30 seconds!
He jumps. The wind screams. The rope burns his glove. Someone falls.
Go! The city answers with bullets. Humvees growling, rotors overhead. Orders blur into static.
We got a Black Hawk down!
It's not a mission anymore. It's a rescue. It's survival.
Walcott's bird spirals out of the sky.
Get a stretcher! Jamie, grab this end! Hands tremble but hold fast. A man screams for cover, another fires blind. It's courage.
The radio keeps spitting names. Pillar's gone. Stuker's hit. Another convoy burns through the city to reach them.
Years later, the textbooks call it Operation Gothic Serpent. But for those who were there,
The world moved on. But then it didn't. Because word doesn't vanish.
the echoes of gunfire didn't fade, they multiplied. Every alley became a front line, every shadow a sniper's nest.
Command tried to control the storm.
But the airwaves were choking with panic.
We need cover fire. Copy. Static. Copy.
The Humvees rolled in heavy, engines howling through fire and debris. It wasn't rescue, it was a gauntlet.
Streets twisted. Directions failed. Every turn brought new fire, new screams.
Then, a single hit changed everything. No one gets left! That wasn't a motto, it was a promise. And in that promise, men carried the weight of each other's lives. We got him. Move!
Every doorway fired back. Every window hid death. But the Rangers moved anyway, because stillness meant dying.
Ammunition ran low. Hands trembled for more than recoil. Fear wasn't the enemy, Hugh. Exhaustion was.
Around the first crash, they formed a ring of rifles. Smoke, fire, blood, FUD, it didn't matter. They were the wall between the fallen and the city.
As daylight died, the city came alive. Gunfire became rhythm. Survival became instinct.
The convoy twisted through alleys, chasing ghosts. Each road promised escape, each turn brought fire. They weren't rescuing anymore.
Radio screamed, then died. And then, it happened again. Super 6-4 took a hit. A spiral of flame, steel and steam, steel and prayer.
2 crashes.
2 battlefields. Every man now fought for both, and neither was close enough to reach.
Super 6-4 down.
Around Super 6-4, they formed a ring of rifles and courage. The city closed in, and they answered with steel. The city didn't sleep. It attacked in waves, endless, faceless, fearless. Every man counted bullets, seconds, and prayers.
The medics didn't fight with bullets. They fought time.
Dusk fell like a curtain. Shadows crawled across the wrecks. The night was coming, and with it, a new kind of war.
As night swallowed the city, every sound mattered. A click. The city exhaled fire, then silence. When the sun died, even the light seemed afraid to stay.
Under green lenses, the world became a ghost. Shapes moved, some friends, some death. In the dark, everyone looked the same.
Then the quiet broke. Fire came from everywhere, tracers painting the sky like veins of blood.
Smoke blinded more than the night did. Orders vanished in gunfire. In that confusion, survival turned to instinct.
He couldn't hear his heartbeat anymore. Just the gunfire. Just the city screaming. He laughed once, then kept shooting. One covers, one reloads, one breathes. Brotherhood measured not in words, but in bullets spent for each other. Above them, angels roared. Little birds circled like hawks furious, bringing light and death in equal measure.
The sky fought for them now. Every burst from above brought another breath below.
Move on! Then, fire reached the heavens again. One little bird took a hit, spiraling away like a star dying out.
Fear never left them. It just learned to stand beside courage, in the same heartbeat, under the same fire.
Back at the base, maps glowered under trembling hands. The rescue column was forming.
Pakistani tanks moving now.
Help was on the move. Pakistani armor, Malaysian troops, strangers ready to bleed for brothers they'd never met.
Inside the city, the trapped Rangers didn't know rescue was coming. They just kept fighting, because stopping wasn't an option.
Some refused evacuation. They stayed, wounded, bleeding, because loyalty wasn't about living. It was about staying.
I'm fine. Go!
Amid all the blood and dust, there were hands, helping, not killing.
The guns fell silent. Only the wind spoke, whispering through ruins.
Hours bled together. Then, through the smoke, light. The horizon burned gold, and with it came movement.
The rescue had come, not in silence, but thunder. Armor rolled through Mogadishu, and with every turn, it carved a road home.
They heard it before they saw it. Engines, orders, hope. For the first time in 18 hours, someone was coming for them.
Dawn broke. The battle wasn't over, but for the first time, they could see the sky.
The reunion lasted seconds. Then, the city roared again, gunfire tearing through the morning light. Bullets snapped around them like angry insects. Still, they lifted the wounded talk, because that's what soldiers do.
Armor filled fast. Every seat was a heartbeat. Those left outside didn't complain. They knew someone else needed it more.
But not everyone could ride. Some had to run through the same streets that nearly killed them.
We're out of room! No cover, no armor, no armor. Just legs, lungs, and willpower. They ran through hell.
The city woke again, steam. Bullets snapping off walls, ricocheting through dust. They ran anyway. There were no words left. Just motion, breath, heat.
Some fell. Others stopped, only long enough to pull them up. In that moment,
Ahead, the sound changed. Fewer bullets, more engines. Safety wasn't close, but it was possible.
The stadium rose like a fortress, walls of concrete and silence. For the first time, they weren't.
after 8 hours of chaos, the silence hurt more than the noise. No one spoke. They just counted who was left.
Some smiled through tears. Others just stared can at the ground, the sky, anything that wasn't gone. Reports called it a success. But for those who walked out, it didn't feel like one. They left something in those streets, and it wasn't just blood.
Bodies gave out before emotions did. No one cried. Not yet.
The noise of war fades slow. Long after the guns stop, it still hums behind the eyes. Years later, they'd call it the Battle of Mogadishu. But for them, it was simpler, Hev. It was the day they refused to die quietly.
Their names carved in stone, their story in silence. History remembers dates.
Courage isn't loud. It's the man who runs toward the sound of falling metal when everyone else runs away.
The city was quiet now. The guns stopped, but the echoes stayed.
Medics walked where soldiers once fought, their hands now for healing, not holding rifles. The cost of survival was written in the dirt.
No one cheered. No one spoke. They sat in silence. Their eyes.
Numbers came in over radio static. 19 Americans gone.
One soldier held another's hand, not out of victory, but because there was nothing else left to do.
Command made made the call. The mission was over, not because it succeeded, but because it couldn't go on.
Prepare to move out.
They rolled out through the same streets they bled in. Every corner, every wall. Behind them, Mogadishu burned. Ahead, silence, and the question that never leaves. Was it worth it?
When they reached the base, there were no words, just hands. Counting, checking, holding. The war had followed them home.
They sat in silence, staring past everything Nesh, seeing nothing but what they left behind.
In tents and barracks, they wrote names on paper. Letters to families who'd never see the men they'd lost war, or the ones who came back different. Back home, flags waved, cameras flashed. But behind every salute was a silence no applause could fill.
They smelled for the cameras, but their eyes stayed in the city. Some never came home, even if their bodies did.
The hardest part wasn't the bullets. It was living when others didn't.
History called it a failure. But courage doesn't care about headlines. It's written in actions, not outcomes. Decades later, their story still speaks. Not about war, but about endurance, loyalty, and what it costs to stand by someone. The uniforms change. The names change. But the courage, that never fades.
What is courage? It isn't noise or medals. It's standing your ground.
If their story reached you, remember them. Because history isn't about battles won.
The battle ended. But the war, the one inside their heads, had just begun.
News traveled fast. The world saw the smoke before it knew the story. The cameras captured what no briefing could explain.
The questions came next.
Why were they there? And why did so many not come home?
They lifted off carrying more than men. They carried the weight of what they couldn't change. Not every soldier gets to leave with peace.
The silence of Mogadishu never left. It followed them through airports, into living rooms, and into their dreams.
At night, some still heard the rotors. Others saw the faces they left behind. The war had ended, but not inside.
Out of their sacrifice came lessons, new tactics, new humility. The world would never fight the same way again.
After Mogadishu, nations hesitated.
The fallen never asked to be remembered, but their names became the story tag, whispered through generations of soldiers who followed.
From that day came training, discipline, and the quiet oath, never again unprepared.
They didn't fight for policy. They fought for the man next to them alive. And that's all war ever truly is.
Ask any of them what they remember most, and they'll tell you the faces, the laughter before the mission, the silence after. We were just doing our job.
We didn't think about dying.
I still hear the radio sometimes.
Their courage belongs not just to history, but to humanity. Every generation needs reminders like theirs. History doesn't end. It passes its torch, Jugra, from one soldier's hands to another's heart.
Dedicated to the men of Task Force Ranger, those who fought, fell.
Their legacy isn't written in stone. It's carried high, in every soldier who remembers what loyalty costs. May history remember them, not for how they died, but for how fiercely they lived. And may we never forget.
Decades have passed since Mogadishu burned. But memory.
For Somalia, the battle was just the beginning. The city rebuilt, broke again, and rebuilt once more.
In Washington, lessons were written in quiet rooms. Every mission after was measured against Mogadishu's shadow.
Special operations changed forever, Wound. Tactics evolved, coordination refined. Mogadishu became both wound and teacher.
Beyond the firefight was famine. Beyond the bullets, hunger. And for many, help came too late.
But the people endured. From the ashes of chaos, they built again. Not out of steel, but out of spirit.
Echoed news audio, withdrawal from Somalia. Mogadishu changed more than tactics, it changed minds. The world became cautious, measured, hesitant.
For those who fought, their names became legends whispered across barracks and battlefields. To remember them is to understand sacrifice.
It never leaves you. You live with it, learn from it, and keep moving.
Today, every mission carries the echo of that day, a reminder carved into every soldier's training. Never underestimate the chaos.
From rope descents to drones and satellites, the battlefield has changed. But courage remains.
A new generation walks streets once soaked in blood. They build schools where soldiers fell.
Across oceans, their memory lives, in museums, books, and whispered stories of loyalty under fire.
Cadets read the story not as tragedy, but as testament. Every name, a reminder of what it costs to be ready.
Some came back, not with rifles, but with remembrance, to see the streets that once defined their fate.
Time heals, not with forgetting, but understanding. The city remembers both sides.
Every modern soldier carries a piece of that day, a discipline born from chaos. The mission may change, but the code endures.
Mogadishu stands again, scarred but standing. Streets once painted in fear now hum with life.
In the end, there were no victors, only survivors. But survival, too, is victory.
Courage doesn't fade with time. It whispers across decades, reminding us what it means.
Dedicated to all who served Freen, in Mogadishu and beyond. May their courage live longer than the wars that tested it.
Some battles never end. They just grow quiet. But in the quiet,
For some, the battle never ended, Tay. It simply changed shape. The wounds turned invisible.
nightmares come like echoes, rotor blades in the dark, friends calling names you can't answer. But even in fear, they stand.
Time doesn't heal all wounds, but it gives them shape right. Something to build upon, something to teach from.
The children of warriors grow up with stories. Some are bedtime tales. Some are prayers. To speak of it is to release it. Every story told, every memory shared, a step away from the silence.
Mogadishu's streets now hum with life. Laughter where once there was fire. The scars remain, but so does hope.
From pain came poetry. From lost came song. Somalia found...
The world watched, learned, and adapted. Mogadishu became a warning and a compass. Today's wars are fought with satellites and code. But the courage that drives men into danger still comes from the same place.
Machines may fight wars now, but it's still hearts that end them. Brotherhood doesn't rust. It only deepens with time.
Every soldier, every generation, carries their legacy, even if they never knew their names.
Okay, lift on 3. 1, 2, 3. We need these supplies moved to the medical tent now.
In Mogadishu, men learned what the textbooks forget. That duty ends, but loyalty never does.
The Battle of Mogadishu wasn't about who won. It was about who refused to give up.
Stories like this never end. They echo, Sally, through silence, through generations.
So when you see their story, Dylan, remember it's not just theirs. It's yours too. Because
Some battles live forever, but so does peace in the hearts that remember.